I hear that, and I embrace fully the fact that we're moving away from what do we need to do in order to tick that box and know that we've done the right thing, to how do we do the right thing and what is the right thing to do, and not being afraid of not knowing, but reaching out to get that support so that they can support their people, as whether they return to the workplace or they're still working remotely, that they feel that they can bring their whole self into their organisations, which is where you have come into this programme. So you're going to support our delegation in two ways. You're doing a session on coaching for change, and you're doing a session on that revolution in what is team working now and into the future, and how does that look, and how does it feel, and what tools do people need. So could you just give us a brief taster of what kind of experiences and thought propagation you've put into those two sessions for us?
Yeah, so I think when you see the title of Building Effective Teams, first thing that pops to your mind is all of these models of bell bins, team building and structures and so on. So it's not going to be anything of that at all, because I think we are considering how the teamwork looks like now in this current situation and how it had changed. So looking at what teamwork even looks like now when we are not seeing each other, when each of us are sitting here in the front of the computer and yet we are still the team, right? So what approach is then needed for leaders to still maintain that sense of belonging, sense of team, how to adapt and adjust our communication. So it's moving away from those traditional leadership methods, from those traditional team building exercise, and looking at each individual, looking at the space that we can create to develop that psychological safety for people to still belong and feel like they are part of the team, regardless from where they work. So I think it's probably biggest takeaway and theme for that, really looking at the bigger picture of the current situation and how leadership need to adapt to build that team in this climate.
Mm-hmm. And in the coaching workshop?
And the coaching, again, it's looking at empowering each individual to be their best and to bring their whole self. So coaching, it's amazing tool that I always encourage leaders to use more of. I think very often leaders as experts tell and guide and direct and supervise. And at the moment, this is simply not an option. So how can we again adjust that leadership style towards more inclusive and coaching approach that empowers people, gives them freedom to operate, and also in a way that gets the best out of them?
And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I have had a sneaky peek at what Evelina has built for us, and I can truly see that step change and shift in the mindset that you'll be taking the people through as they watch your session, and the tools that you're offering people to reflect on afterwards and really put things into practice. So I know that both of them are going to be super impactful.
And I think that is really a key, how we put that all in practice, because even traditionally, we know that a lot of leadership programs are seen as not effective because they are very difficult to implement. It's all very good to learn those theories, models, but then what do you do with them? So my ways of working and my approach is always looking at how can I apply this here? How can I apply this now? How can I apply in this specific situation? How can I apply it with this specific person? And be able to adapt and grow with that change, because there's a lot of change happening. It's important that we are able to grow with that, and change only happens inside out, and every person and every leader needs to take that responsibility for how we are leading our businesses, our people, and also ourselves.
Absolutely. And we've, in the journal that we've put alongside your tools, there are some very simple but easy to follow instructions on how to embed that learning, you know, and to bring the change in. You know, the education part that you will offer is only, as we know, is 10%. That 90% needs to come from trying something different and exercising that mindset to grow. And the final piece, just to let our people know, is that you will be joining us for our panel at the end of the programme. So you will be available to speak to our delegates and to answer any further questions, really supporting that embedding of this new way of thinking and working, which will be amazing. So Evelina, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to it.